Hello there, you spectacularly stunning person you. This is Chris from TechSpert and I'm here with the Nokia 4.2. Now, just 149 quid here in the UK. This smartphone is definitely aimed at the more budget-conscious user, someone who wants a dependable everyday handset that can do the lot but not break the bank. Of course, this sort of price point is a strong rival to the likes of the Moto G7 Play and Power, which also offer a nice clean Android UI experience. Let's just get it unboxed, check out what you actually get as well as the phone, and then we'll get it all set up and take a tour of the hardware and software so you know exactly what to expect. And for more of the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers. So first up, no surprise, you get of course a 3-pin plug, boop, with a bit of Nokia branding, and a charging cable, which sadly is micro USB. You don't get a bit of Type-C charging with Nokia 4.2. It's pretty standard for a budget handset. And that's it, that's all you get in the box. How easy was that? That means we can get straight onto the sexy stuff, which is the phone itself. Looks like we already have some gas in the tank, so that's good. As you can see, a bit of Android One action. What that means is basically it's a stock version of Google's Android OS, and it means that you'll get a guaranteed 2 years of security and OS updates with the Nokia 4.2, just like all Android One handsets. Hello, Nokia. As you can see, this is the black model, but you can also grab it in pink if you want something a bit more punchy and in your face. Black model is, to be fair, a little bit bland. For 149 quid, you can't complain, though. It does, of course, have a glass finish. I don't believe it's Gorilla Glass or anything like that, so you might want to make sure you slap a case or a cover on it if you want to keep it looking pristine. But a pretty straightforward, neat little design there. This thing is already getting crazy scuffed up as well with all of my greasy fingerprints, so you'll definitely want to keep a cleaning cloth handy if you want to keep it looking as neat as possible. As you can see there, you do get a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor as well in a nice position, so hopefully it should just fall right beneath your finger. And in addition to using that rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, you can also set up face recognition as well, which is pretty good for a basic budget handset, just using that front-facing selfie camera. So I'll just stick my baldy, sweaty mug in there, and there we have it, criminal profile saved. There we have it, quick and easy setup process. Just have to stick in your Wi-Fi details and your Gmail account, all the usual shenanigans, and here we are actually into the Android Pie desktop. So as I already mentioned, it is a nice stock version of Android. It is of course Android version 9, which means that Nokia won't have done much, if any, real tinkering with the OS. In fact, it's probably just added the face recognition, a couple of other little bits, and that'll be it. You'll probably find there aren't any apps on here apart from Google authorized apps as well. So as you can see, the likes of the Chrome browser, Maps, good old Play Store, of course, you can download more stuff, and that is your lot. The actual screen itself is a 5.71 inch IPS panel. IPS is exactly what you'd expect from a budget device around this sort of price point. As you can see there, the colors aren't exactly super punchy, and you won't get particularly good contrast or anything like that, but you know what, it certainly seems pleasingly bright, that's for sure. Boost that all the way up to max, you'll have no trouble seeing that on a bright sunshiny day, that's for sure. Sadly, it isn't a full HD display, it is just HD+, that's 1520 by 720 pixel resolution. As you can see there though, even though it's HD+ rather than full HD+, it's still a reasonably crisp image. If all you're doing is browsing a bit of YouTube, something like that, it'll definitely do the job for your everyday video. You can actually pinch in like so as well if you want a closer view of the action, and that little nipple notch there up at the top only intrudes a teeny bit into the screen, so it's nothing too ropey. As for the audio, well, it's just a single downwards firing speaker over here at the bottom edge of the screen. If you just boost the volume up,
now, and it is definitely solid value for money at 1,400 quid.
You see the quality ain't exactly great. Again, it's fine for just kind of watching a bit of YouTube if you haven't got any headphones to spare, but if you start blasting that on the bus, people will be giving you some very hacky looks indeed. Good news is though, you do actually get a 3.5mm headphone jack up top, so you don't need to rely on Bluetooth if you do have a wired pair that you particularly love. You've got the likes of the nightlight mode, which can basically just make everything nice and warm and easy on the eye, which is particularly great if you're going to be reading in bed, things like that. As you can see, it's quite an intense orangey finish that you get with that. You can also mess around a little bit with the white balance as well, make it either a colder or warmer temperature using that at any point. Now, in addition to the white edged power button and the volume rocker over here on the right edge, you do actually get a bonus button over here on the left edge as well. It's a Google Assistant button, so just a quick tap of that and you will bring up the Google Assistant. Ta-da! So for instance, you can say, is it going to rain today? And unsurprisingly, yes, it is going to bloody rain. I didn't need the Google Assistant to tell me that. It's the UK in August. And despite only costing 150 quid, the Nokia 4.2 does rock all of the standard smartphone features that you would hope would be on there, such as NFC for your contactless payments. Now, running the show here on the Nokia 4.2 is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 439 chipset, backed by the 2 or 3 gigs of RAM. This is the 3 gig model and seems to be enjoying life fairly well so far. Not exactly super nippy, and a couple of apps have crashed, but then that's fairly standard for budget handsets when they're first being set up. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But I would say though, is you almost certainly want to be going with a 3GB model rather than 2GB if you don't want to be seeing a lot of pauses and stutters and generally getting frustrated with your smartphone. As you can see here, very basic performance from Geekbench for in the triple figures for the single core score, barely even scratching 3000 for the multi-core. But again, as long as you're just browsing the web, you know, messaging friends, things like that, it'll do the job. And of course, those Snapdragons tend to be very power efficient as well, so I'm expecting a full day of battery life from a full charge with the 3000 mAh cell that's stashed inside of the Nokia 4.2. And of course, you've got the usual battery saver modes and things like that if you require them. As for the storage as well, you get a choice of 16 or 32GB of built-in storage. It's 16 gigs on the basic 2GB of RAM model, and you get 32 gigs of storage on the 3GB of RAM model. As you can see here, so I've therefore got 32 gigs of storage. Unfortunately, not much of that is actually free as well. A good chunk of it has been used up by the OS and the various apps that come pre-installed. Thankfully, you do get microSD memory card support though, so you can stick in a card of up to 400GB in size if you want to carry around lots of media, save your photos and videos to that, things like that. Which brings us on to the camera tech, and as you can see there, it's a dual lens rear snapper. It's a 13 megapixel primary lens, f2.2, so it probably won't be too hot in those low light situations, and that's backed by a simple 2 megapixel depth sensor. You just dive on into the camera app. It'll be fairly straightforward stuff as you would expect from a budget snapper, but should be good for just simply pointing and shooting. You do actually get an HDR auto mode, which is quite nice, so you should be able to at least capture reasonably good outdoor shots, even if the light is a little bit stronger though. You'll probably see some oversaturation in those brighter skies. You do actually have pro controls if you don't want to rely on the auto mode, so as you can see there, you can fiddle around with the likes of the ISO levels, things like that. You also have the live bokeh mode, which is basically like a portrait mode if you've got a human subject. Dive on into the settings by stretching all the way up here. You'll see you can actually shoot in the RAW format as well if you want to be doing some editing on the go. And you do have a video option as well. Tops off at full HD. Unfortunately, there's no 4K option, as you kind of expect for 150 quid. But again, you just point and shoot, and away you go. And then if we swap to that 8 megapixel front-facing camera, da-da, there I am in all my sweaty glory. It's an f2.0 aperture, and again, you've got all the usual pro controls by the looks of it. Bit of live bokeh action as well. So even though it doesn't have that dedicated depth sensor, it can basically just use software smarts to detect where you are and hopefully blur out the background without getting too much of you in there as well. So that right there is the Nokia 4.2. As I say, 150 quid here in the UK. It's got a nice stock version of Android. A couple of nice little bonus features though as well, including that face recognition. And hopefully the performance will be alright on this 3GB model. I reckon the 2GB will start to struggle and stutter quite a bit. So I'd definitely go 3GB if you can. So what do you reckon? Are you tempted by the Nokia 4.2? Definitely be great to hear your thoughts, and stay tuned for my full roundup of the best sub £200 smartphones that you can buy right now in the UK, coming very shortly indeed. Thanks for watching everyone, love you, bye!